news, information, talk, discussion, solution, and the best music on the planet. You can find it all on Black I Am Radio. Black I Am Radio. Yes, you are here. Get ready, get ready. Get ready for one of the most influential weekends of 2022. Black People United presents Bosses Building Bosses. Saturday and Sunday, August 13th and 14th at 5595 Riverdale Road, College Park, Georgia. Featuring our Pan-African Initiative. Black Health is our wealth. Black Health is our wealth. Saturday and Sunday, August 13th and 14th. The grand opening Saturday kicks off at 3 p.m. Day one. Listen up from 3 p.m. until 5 p.m. Southside Atlanta, Saturday is going to be a full day of festivity. Starting with the Black People United kickoff of the Drink to Live and Wellness Cafe from 6 until 8 p.m. Then, our Health and Wellness panel begins at 8 p.m. from 8 until 11 p.m. We will have our official grand opening for Dr. Angela Harris's Health and Wellness line. Drink to live. Don't drink to die. Drink to live. And clinical research scientist and holistic health practitioner, Dr. Newmoney Whitty. It's a health and wellness paint and sip. Get ready. Live entertainment, prize giveaways, and more. On day 2, Sunday at 6 p.m. On day 2, it's our mental health awareness. Paint, heal, and sip. Dr. Angela Harris, the releasing and destroying of pain. Live entertainment, a segment on meditation and third eye chakra development. Our health and wellness pain and sip theme. Prizes, networking, and more. This entire weekend of events sponsored by Black I Am Radio. Your one-day ticket, $30, or 2-day for $50. All proceeds going to the Principles of Blackness Cultural and Wellness Academy. Get your tickets now at www.bossesbuildingbosses.eventbrite.com. www.bossesbuildingbosses.eventbrite.com. Saturday and Sunday, August 13th and 14th, beginning at 3 p.m. on Saturday and 6 p.m. on Sunday. Make plans to be at Bosses Building Bosses, the most influential weekend in 2022. 5595 Riverdale Road, College Park, Georgia.
Hey, it's your girl, Dr. Harris, live here at Black I Am Radio on the Dr. Harris Live and Friends show. We always focus on the rebirth of the Black nation. I want to make a correction to that commercial that you just heard. We have rescheduled our event that would have been on August the 13th and 14th until September the 9th and 10th due to some family things that has to go on. I am so excited because I am on my 16th grandchild, and instead of August the 21st, they are inducing my daughter, and I have to be there with my grandson being born. I told my daughter she needs to name him Angel because he's the first Leo grandchild in the family, just like me, my mother, and my sister. So, and he's a boy, except for my nephew, he is on August the 3rd, so he started the trend. But as far as the greats and my grandchildren, my first grandchild, who is a Leo, just like me. So I'm ready to welcome him into this world. I'm ready to hold him even before his mother does. It's like that, y'all. You know, when you are a mama, you know, it's so important that you are there to bring these children in the world so that you can bless them coming out of the womb. And I just want to give shouts out to all of my children and my grandchildren. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of going to my 4-year-old grandson. Y'all know him, the one that has the Fresh Prince clothing line, the CEO of the Fresh Prince clothing line, Prince Louis. He's now playing football. He started in karate, but now he's the football man. And yesterday I just witnessed him and how little they kept on saying, you're so little. But he was tackling the biggest guys. And the thing that tickled me the most, and my daughter has some videos, so I'm going to end up playing it one day on the show, where when he tackled the guys, he stood over them and he made sure they wasn't going to get back up. Soon as they tried to get back up before the play was over, he would jump right back on them, and that just tickled me because he knew that he was supposed to keep his man down. It's so important for us to put our children in things that give them discipline at a young age. And for our family, it's always been sports. So, you know, I have cousins that play basketball. My brother played football. My uncle played football. You know, so whatever it is that works for your children to learn discipline, make sure that you put them in those things and keep them active. But the first thing that you always have to teach them about is their relationship with the Most High. So that's so important. Teach them how to pray, teach them how to do things independently outside of just what you do as a parent or a grandparent. It's so important for us to teach them how to develop their relationship with the Creator at a young age on their own. But today we have some very, very special guests. My voice is still a little challenged. It did come back some, but it's hay fever season, and these allergies and all of that stuff. When they start tackling in your voice, but they can't shut me up. So I'm still gonna be on Dr. Harris Live and Friends. I'm still gonna go wherever I need to go to make sure that the voice that I was given to be heard is heard. But in the building, we have back today. She was missing last week. But our co-host, Miss TERRI HARP. Hey, TERRI.
Hey, Dr. Angela. Yeah, I'm back. Hi, everybody. And I'm happy to be back. And I agree, Dr. Angela. Sports are so important. My dad played football, too. All my cousins, everyone plays sports. But sports teach you how to be a team player. It teaches you how to play on a team. And that's so important for us throughout our whole life, because we're not usually by ourselves, and it's important to know how to get along with each other, and playing sports certainly does that. But Dr. Angela, how was your week? How's your week been so far?
Well, my week has been a week. I can't believe that today is Friday. That's how my week has been, because today it just seems like it's a Tuesday or Wednesday. So it's went very fast. Time is not waiting on anybody. But what I can say is that I am here today. So there has been blessings that followed me throughout this week.
And we hung out on Tuesday. We were together on Tuesday night.
Yes, we were together on Tuesday night.
Tuesday night. I broke my diet, fooling with you Tuesday night, and ate that cake. I tried 2 kinds of cake hanging with Dr. Angela.
Oh, she's blaming it on me, and she's the one that brought me the cake. I'm like, what? And I was eating fish.
I did bring you the cake. I thought I was going to bring myself 2 slices, but I felt embarrassed. So when I got back to Dr. Angela, I was like, I brought you a piece of cake. But it was really good, wasn't it?
It was good. I never had tasted that cake before. It was really amazing.
Now, one thing I wanted to tell you about that I saw today, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it. I read yesterday in USA Today that 11 million Americans every month for 11 months quit their jobs.
Wow.
They're calling it the Great Resignation. That last year, 11 million Americans for 11 straight months quit their jobs.
Wow.
And we were talking, you noticed that during the day, if you notice, everybody's out and about. Usually, if you took care of business during the week, during the day, it was a little slower traffic, but I'm noticing that everyone is still out. So I think Atlanta is participating in that Great Resignation. What do you think?
Wow. I mean, that's just really something to think about. My question would be is, did they become self-employed, or did they just quit their job? Or, I mean, what's going on with it? I don't understand how are they surviving? Because, PPP loans is gone, unemployment is gone. I mean, how are they surviving? I'm confused. Did they go out and start their own businesses, and so now they're on their own schedule? Or did they just quit their jobs?
I think the pandemic forced people to rethink things and to make us more creative and to really make us dig deep and force us to find other ways. Because even though I know some of my friends and family, even though they might have been scheduled to get unemployment, it was months before it came. So they had to do something. Some of my cousins are doing Uber for the freedom to be able to raise their kids and go to their kids' school. They're doing Postmates. I have one cousin, she's now a mobile notary. So she's doing notarizing on the go. So I think it made people way more independent, and it forced them to be creative. And in that article it said that people want companies to pay more, and they're demanding higher pay. And I think Fat Joe said yesterday's prices are not today's prices, and I think that's the moral of this story.
Wow. And you know what? I just had to renew my notary seal today, so that's wow. It actually, I never realized that I became a notary on 9/11 in 2018, and I just got a notice yesterday in my email that I needed to renew before my expiration date of 9/11. But it is, a lot of people are definitely being creative out here. However, I also see a lot of people that are also suffering out here, financially.
Yeah.
A lot of people are really struggling because everything is going up. The food is up, the housing is up. I mean, the gas is up, everything is up. But the money has not changed. So, it's a lot of things going out here in this universe, but we want to focus on the rebirth of our Black nation because we have to continue to embed in our people that regardless of what the society shows out here, that the creativity and the power that we have, we can still survive right in the midst of a famine. But you have to believe that in order to receive it. And so, today's show is going to be a really amazing show. We have our poet is back in the building.
Yay!
Tell them who you are, baby girl. Hey.
Hey, I'm Shonda, also known as Deeply Chocolate. Glad to be back. I really enjoyed being here last week, so I'm excited about today's show.
And are you going to be doing some poetry for us today?
Yes, I am.
Amazing. I'm excited.
And I wanted to say something about the sports, too. Not only does it give discipline, but it also gives confidence.
Wow.
It does give confidence. You're right.
And then our next guest in the building, we have a king in the building. Hey, King.
Hey,
How you doing? How you doing?
We always, no matter how many women is in the building, we always have to break that thing and bring a king in the building. And one has arrived today. King, tell them who you are.
Okay, my name is Benjamin Collins, and if I tell you a little bit about myself, I'm a best-selling author. I have a book called Paying for His Mistakes that has sold over 50,000 copies. I have another book called Make Me a Star Music Guide. It's all about the music industry and how to make it in the music industry. I'm the owner of the American Entertainment Awards, and I'm also the owner of the National Entertainment Expo, which is an artist showcase, give artists opportunity to showcase the talent.
Awesome.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. And so we're going to dig back into that just a little bit more about his projects and things that he has going on. As a best-selling author, I want to tell you, first of all, congratulations.
Congratulations.
But I also want to say, I'm getting ready to be in that number as well. I just can't wait until our book is released, The Epiphany of Loving Myself. It has taken some time to write this book, and I realized that a lot of the people that are authors in this book, it was a challenge to write their chapter. Why? Because in the midst of thinking that you love you, when you start writing about it, you realize that there's still some things missing about loving yourself. When you look back at different situations, just in your current life, I'm talking about within the last 6 months, you have to question, how much did I really love myself? And I had someone yesterday that it was just so amazing. She was just telling me yesterday, about how anointed, people, they see you. Even sometimes when you don't see you, they see you. And, me, I'm a person that, okay, like the other day when we went to the place that me and TERRI was together, there was a woman that came up to me and she was just so excited to see me in person.
She was.
And she was like, I just really love your show and I watch your show and you're just so amazing and all of these things. But for me, my humility always continues to stay in place.
You were turning red.
I was turning red.
Her face was red. I was like, Dr. Angela is blushing. Because the lady saw me first and said, is that Dr. Angela? I was like, yes, can I have a fork for the cake? I was still on the cake thing, and she was like, I'll get you a fork later. I want to go straight to Dr. Angela. I was like, okay. I said, yeah, you can go meet Dr. Angela. I was just so proud that she recognized her, and she loved that young lady loved the show.
Yes, and she was like, anything that we can do. And they were with the Porsche Club, right?
They were with the Porsche Club.
Yeah, they were with the Porsche Club.
Yeah, so all the Porsche drivers were there, and I mean...
It was a whole lot of money.
It was a whole lot of money in the building.
Yeah, but
It was a whole lot of money in the building, because she was a Porsche driver, too.
Yes, and it was just so amazing. And just to know that And it was all of us, y'all. And just
All
to know that
African
all of
Americans.
us that was in that building, you know, they were well off. And then for them to say, she said, if you need anything, make sure you contact us. And you know what? I'm going to start taking people at their word, because I have people tell me that all the time. And I've never really utilized that. But I'm going to have to start utilizing it, because I understand that sometimes the Most High will send people in your path to be able to help you, to elevate you in another realm, even of finances. So, you know, you can get sponsors and all of that stuff. My thing was always, I'm doing this from the heart, so I don't, you know, have to go and get things from other people. But, you know, in all things, you got to get what? Wisdom. You know, instead of you always going into your own pocket, if there's other people that want to pour into you and want to help your mission, why wouldn't you allow them to? So I'm on it. You know, every day is a learning day. You know, every day you have to learn something new. But
one more thing, Dr. Angela, I need to do.
Go ahead.
Before I forget, I want to shout out 2255 Custom Hats for giving me this dope hat to wear today.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. C.L. Davis is the designer. And I wanted to tell them thank you to 225 Custom Hats. Thank you to that company. I always get a dope hat, and I can't take credit for it. I can't even take credit for styling it. They style me, and I really appreciate it, guys. So I love you, 2255 Custom Hats.
And we will be playing that commercial here shortly, just so that you can get a whiff of the different fedoras that are with 2255 Custom Hats, which is one of our sponsors. So I just want to thank you so much for all of our sponsors that are starting to sponsor our show, and it's so important. I
even had someone reach out and ask me how could they sponsor the show. So if you could give that information, it would be helpful. They said, how can we be a sponsor? Someone asked me today.
Amazing. We will get that information out to you before the end of the show. All right, so the thing that I was talking about, you know, when she told me, she said, you know, I was talking to, you know, me, I have seasoned friends. What I mean by seasoned friends, mostly everyone that's around me, unless I'm mentoring them, they're older than me, because I love to sit up under wisdom. And then not only that, I love accountability. And see, the ones that I'm mentoring, they don't hold me accountable. But my seasoned friends, like TERRI next to me, my co-host, TERRI is a realist. She really digs into me in certain situations. And I love it, because I want to be my best self. And see, you know, when somebody's always patting you on the back and praising you and all of these things, a lot of times it hinders you from being accountable. But when you have people around you that are accountability partners, then it's so amazing. And not only are they just accountability partners, they're doing it out of love, because they want to see you become your best self each and every day.
You know, the word of God says iron sharpens iron. So you do the same thing for me. You tell me don't say that, don't mention that, you need to stop speaking that way. So if I tell you, and then I always let you know, anyone in my circle that I love, that I'm telling you because I probably already fell in that very same ditch. Wow. Or I already hit that same roadblock. And girl, I came out with a broken arm, my lip was busted, and, you know, I had stitches. Don't do what I did. So it's never, if the reason we go through things is so we can help each other. And so we can be transparent with each other, and not like we act like we always get everything right, because we don't. And at least I always say, if I made a mistake, two things will happen. I don't plan on making the same mistake, and I plan on being transparent with whoever's around me, so I can warn them, just don't do what I did. If nothing else, I can stop someone else from falling into the same problem.
And that is a part of rebirthing our Black nation, giving the things to our people that we need in order to become a better people as a whole and individually. So Miss Rose, shouts out to you, girl. She said to me yesterday, you know, she said, Dr. Harris, I want you to realize something. I want you to really know who you are. And I said, I know who I am, Miss Rose. She said, so some of the things that people say to you is because you deserve it. She said, I want you to stay on the level where God elevated you. Stop stepping down to the level where He raised you from. And I was like, wow. Break that down to me, Miss Rose, because I heard what you said and I received it and I understood it in my way, but I want you to break it down. She said, what you have to understand is that your leadership abilities, that's what the Most High raised you to. So you can be relative to other people and their problems and their situations, but you don't allow for those people to drag you back down to where you came from. And I said, you know what? That is so powerful, because people will try to diminish the place that you've already been elevated to just to bring you down to where they are. So I just want to give a word of encouragement. If you know that you've been elevated, I'm not talking about you elevating you, but I'm talking about life elevating you to a level of somewhere higher than where you've been before. Don't allow for people to drag you back down to where you've already come from, because elevation is not going down or going backwards. It's moving forward.
It's moving forward. And sometimes the true change starts in your own mind. So sometimes you have to elevate yourself in your mind, and then you will already be in a different elevated state, but people will still see the same old you. And you can't fall subject to that trap either. You know, you have to see yourself the way the Lord sees you. And one thing about the more you love God, you start seeing yourself differently, because you realize that someone that amazing, someone who created the whole universe, can love me. I must be pretty great. If he only made one me, I must be amazing. And it's true, you are amazing. So oftentimes, you know, you change the way you see yourself, but the people from your past or people who knew you when will still be recognizing the old you or treating like the old you, and that person is gone, because you are a new creature and you have elevated yourself. So I agree with you, Dr. Angela. It's so important not to let them pull you back into those same habits, the same mindset, just because that's the way they saw you the last time maybe they were around you, or the way they're comfortable seeing you.
Because growth happens every day if
it
you're
happens
allowed
every
to.
day.
And you learn something new every day if you only open your ears and open your eyes. So with that being said, I want to go over to our poet in the building. Are you ready to give us something beautiful?
Yes.
All right, give it to us.
Okay, this poem, it speaks to what you're saying in terms of staying in your elevated state. And so this is a poem that's basically written around affirmations. And I also think that could speak to what you were saying about the people leaving their jobs and what are they doing. If they're using their creative skills to survive, one thing I've noticed is that people are really getting into affirmations and claiming who they are and their greatness. So the name of this poem is I Am. If there is no freedom, the fault lies in me. If I am the God and I am, then I command the sea. If I am the goddess and I am, then the universe and I talk. If I am infinite energy and I am, then I create new worlds as I walk. If I am high vibration and I am, then I create the reality I live. If I am power and I am, then there is nothing to myself and others that I cannot give. If I am a God having a human experience, and I am indeed, then I need not look outside myself to give myself everything I need. If I bend universes, and indeed I do, then I manifest desires, thoughts, and words. And I even manifested you. I am divine creation. I am reality created. I am positive energy. I am vibration elevated. I am spiritual being. I am life elated. I am reality creator, manifested beyond the contemplated. I am greatness. I wait on no things. I am vibrational tones. Raising energy as I sing. I am everything I've always wanted to be. I am And with those words, I am free. I am me.
That was amazing.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So amazing.
That connected to what we were talking about. You know what they were searching for when 11 million people left their jobs for 11 straight months. They were trying to be free.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You said it. They just trying to be free.
Absolutely. That was
wow. That was it.
That was
living
so,
that purpose,
so
trying to be free. Wow.
Powerful, powerful, powerful.
That's
girl, I like that. I love that.
Did I raise some energy in here?
Yes.
Woo, that raised my vibration. Like it took me to a whole nother level.
Because affirmations are so important because what you tell yourself, your mind believes it.
Mm-hmm. So before we go to our next commercial, I want to say my I ams, and I want to pass it around to my co-host, and then we're going to come back. After our commercial, we will then hear from our king in the building so that he can talk some more about him and his projects and the things that he's doing, the things that he's already done, where he's come from, and where he's going. But my I ams is, y'all know it. I am powerful. I am strong. I'm about that life. Yes, I'm born to fight. I'm a warrior in my mind, and I'm gifted. Yeah, that's mine. You can't take it, but I can't fake it. Oh, yes, I'm blessed and highly favored. I am thankful for life. And today, everything in my path is going to be all right. I am. Thank you so much for that poem. Your poem was very, very powerful. And we're going to come back to you because we need at least another poem. I am so excited about her poetry because she is going to be our poet that's inserting in our book throughout the book. And so in between every 3 chapters, you will be able to experience some of her poetry. And it is about the epiphany of loving myself. When did I learn to love me? Y'all, next Sunday is my birthday.
Yay!
Life and breath, guess what? I'll be 49 years old. 49. 49 is mine. 49 is my time to shine. 49 is it. And I'm ready for it. Why am I ready? Because before, I may not have been ready for what is coming. But now I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to give because it's necessary at this time in order for us to live. I choose life. I choose to live, which is my chapter in the book, The Epiphany of Loving Myself. And what that means is I chose life, which really life chose me. Life is the creator, but I choose to live means I choose to walk in my purpose. See, there's a lot of people out here that can do whatever they want to do, and a lot of people don't choose to walk in their purpose. But I choose to walk in my purpose. Why? Because I know that this life, my life, is really not about me. It's about those who I was assigned to in this life to bring glory to the one that gives us life each and every day. So with that being said, we are going to go ahead to our commercial. We're going to come back to our co-host, and then we're going to turn it over to our king.
2255 Custom Hats, the fashion statement of the century. All styles, all colors, all sizes, just for you. Get yours today. A 2255 Custom Hat, just for you. Go to Instagram at 2255 Custom Hats and get yours. Your fedora is a touch of class. It makes a confident statement. And most of all, a fashion statement. Treat yourself sometimes. You deserve a 2255 Custom Hat. Log on to www.2255customhats.com. www.2255customhats.com. And Instagram at 2255 Custom Hats. Get yours today. 2255 Custom Hats, the fashion statement of the century. All styles, all colors, all sizes, just for you. Get yours today. A 2255 Custom Hat. just for you. Go to Instagram at 2255 Custom Hats and get yours. Your fedora is a touch of class. It makes a confident statement. And most of all, a fashion statement. Treat yourself sometimes. You deserve a 2255 Custom Hat. Log on to www.2255customhats.com. www.2255customhats.com. And Instagram at 2255 Custom Hats. Get yours today. 2255 Custom Hats. The fashion statement of the century. All styles, all colors, all sizes. Just for you. Get yours today. A 2255 Custom Hat. Just for you. Go to Instagram at 2255 Custom Hats and get yours. Your fedora is a touch of class. It makes a confident statement. And most of all, a fashion statement. Treat yourself sometimes. You deserve a 2255 Custom Hat. Log on to www.2255customhats.com. www.2255customhats.com. And Instagram at 2255 Custom Hats. Get yours today. 2255 Custom Hats. The fashion statement of the century. All styles, all colors, all sizes. Just for you. Get yours today. A 2255 Custom Hat. Just for you. Go to Instagram at 2255 Custom Hats and get yours. Your fedora is a touch of class. It makes a confident statement. And most of all, a fashion statement. Treat yourself sometimes. You deserve a 2255 Custom Hat. Log on to www.2255customhats.com. www.2255customhats.com. And Instagram at 2255 Custom Hats. Get yours today.
How's everybody doing?
2255 Custom Hats. The fashion statement of the century. All styles, all colors, all sizes. Just for you. Get yours today. A 2255 Custom Hat. Just for you. Go to Instagram at 2255 Custom Hats and get yours. Your fedora is a touch of class. It makes a confident statement. And most of all, a fashion statement. Treat yourself sometimes. You deserve a 2255 Custom Hat. Log on to www.2255customhats.com. www.2255customhats.com. And Instagram at 2255 Custom Hats. Get yours today. 2255 Custom Hats. The fashion statement of the century. All styles, all colors, all sizes. Just for you. Get yours today. A 2255 Custom Hat. Just for you. Go to Instagram at 2255 Custom Hats and get yours. Your fedora is a touch of class. It makes a confident statement.
Customer service job, check by check, the everyday thing, and you know how if you get in the check by check job and you barely paying your bills, your car break down, what happens? You're back in the hole. Everything is back in the hole. So I was dealing with that, and my first marriage. I was actually married at the time, but I was married to a young lady who wanted everything fast. So imagine coming home one day and there's a U-Haul parked in front of your house.
Wow.
And the police. I said, whoa, what's going on? And she told me, she said, I'm going to leave you. You don't have enough money for me.
Wow.
And I said, whoa, I'm like, where did this come from? We was living middle class life, decent life, but she wanted things fast. So, of course, I'm very stressed out, she had cut the power off, everything.
Wow.
I'm sitting there.
Wow.
So she left, and I'm sitting there like stressed out. Said, what am I going to do? So I got in my car, decided to go to Lennox Mall. I'm sitting in the parking lot, Lennox Mall, and I'm saying, God help me, what I'm going to do. And a car pulls up beside me. It's a Bentley, a nice Bentley, and I said, whoa. And it's an Indian guy in the car. So I said, what I got to lose? I get out of the car and I said, excuse me, sir, can you tell me, how did you get to this level?
Wow.
And he said, sacrifice. He said, the problem is a lot of people are not willing to make a sacrifice. He said, when I came to this country, I lived in a one-bedroom apartment. It was 7 of us. In a one-bedroom apartment, he said, all I ate was rice. And now I own 13 restaurants.
Wow.
And I'm a millionaire. I said, wow. He said, you got to find your sacrifice. And I said, I said, okay. So I sat there for a while and I went back home, got back in my car, and I decided to just leave. I got in my car, I decided to just leave, and I just started driving. And I ended up in Orlando, Florida. Ended up in Orlando, Florida. I had $500 to my name, and I rented a hotel room. Had so many roaches, it was ridiculous. So I was like, oh man, I can't take this no more. So I said, forget that. So I ended up sleeping in my car that night. So I'm gonna make a long story short. I made a sacrifice that was unbelievable. I decided to sleep in my car for a whole year.
Wow.
And I worked 3 jobs. All I did was work and sleep in my car at a rest stop. Now, what that did for me, at the end of that year, I had $60,000 saved up.
Wow.
Cash. And it changed my life. I tell you, from that point on, the blessings start flowing. I mean, God, I've never been broke since. I made my sacrifice, and money just been flowing and flowing and flowing. A lot of people ask me, they say, because I travel a lot, I've been to 12 countries, I have nicer things, but people don't see that. They didn't see my sacrifice. They only see what they see now. They say, oh, he must have been a drug dealer. He must have been this and he must have been that. No, you didn't see me sleeping in my car.
Right.
And now, like I said, I'm to the point where I have a best-selling book.
Wow.
I have real estate. I don't have to work nobody's job. I'm an entrepreneur. But guess what? It all came from my sacrifice. That one sacrifice that I made, and that changed my life. And I tell people, I'm not saying you have to do what I did. What I did was kind of extreme. What I did, sleep in your car was kind of extreme.
Which was a part of your journey. Right. Because everybody's journey is different. Yeah.
Right. So, it's up to you. But I'm saying sometimes, don't buy the Michael Jordan tennis shoes. Don't do this. I know when the pandemic hit, they said, when they gave us all the checks, right? They said Walmart had the biggest sale, and they sold more TVs than anybody ever in history, because everybody took their money and bought crazy stuff.
Wow.
So if you want to change your life, you have to make a sacrifice. You have to do something different and outside of the box. That's not the norm. So from that day on, it's been amazing. That when I sat there that last day and I decided to get out of my car, I got pictures of it. I had $60,000 cash.
Wow.
I said, whoa, I never had this much money in my life.
Wow.
So, that's pretty much the story of what happened. So now
That's
y'all know the
amazing.
story.
That should be a book.
Yeah, that's in the book, Ultimate Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's gotta be in that book. That's amazing. It's like the delayed gratification.
Right.
Either you want instant gratification or delayed gratification.
Right.
And certain things, I was thinking, because I'm on a weight loss journey right now, and I was thinking about what I eat now, I will see the results later. It's the ultimate example of delayed gratification.
Right.
So what I eat, either I'm gonna see it next week, the scale's gonna go up, or the scale's gonna go down. So you're right, it's the sacrifice.
I mean, we always say what we want. I want this, I want that. But I have friends. I say, hey, why don't you jump in the Uber? You get a second job. If you want something, it's there. And one thing I've been to 12 countries. This is a country that you can go from zero to hero quick. I mean, not quick, but you can do it. You know what I'm saying? In other countries, you're stuck. I've been to other countries where they didn't have nothing, and that was it. So you can go. Yeah, that's it. If you were born a farmer, you're a farmer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And even though Ben made a sacrifice, right? He felt it was a sacrifice. Really what it was obedience. Because when you are told to do something and you hear it, yes, it may be a sacrifice, but you sacrifice because you were being obedient. That's why it says obedience is better than sacrifice. Because when you follow the directions, you make the sacrifice, but the obedience is what gives you the blessings.
Right.
And so your blessings came from you hearing and adhering to what you heard.
And it's part of the process.
It's part of the process. Our journeys are our journeys, and all of our journeys are different, but in every journey, there is directives. And if you follow your directives in your journey, then everything starts to manifest itself. See, I tell people all the time, many are called but few are chosen. A lot of times the chosen people have to go through the most drastic situations in life. My sacrifices have been sticking to what doesn't seem favorable, which is building the rebirth of the Black nation, building the Black I Am Awards, honoring Black people from all over the world, and making sure that they have an accountability statement when you honor them, that we're not only honoring you because of the things that you've done, but we're honoring you with accountability statement to say that you still have work to do. And so it's so amazing that you're sitting here saying the things that you said regarding your portion of your journey. So what I want you to do from this point is I want you to walk us through the blessings that started when you said then the blessings came, how your blessings started and where you are today.
Well, I do want to say this. I was looking at an interview with Steve Harvey one time. He was talking about that it's hard, to make it. People don't realize if you want to be, it's only 2% of the wealthy people. So if you want to be that person, it's hard, especially for us, coming up as, normal people trying to get to that point. So you have to do things, when I was in my car, when I saved my first $5,000, I could have easily said, I'm done, let me get me an apartment, I'm finished. But I kept doing it, I kept pushing, and guess what? I kept seeing that money stacking and stacking and stacking. I said, man, I can do this. It's gonna be hard, but I can do this. So when you say blessings, I tell you what, after that last day, I said, well, I'm gonna get out of this car, I'm gonna go home, and I'm gonna, do something. Well, before that, I said, I'm tired of sleeping in my car, let me get me a van. And I saw Oprah said one time, if you want to have a vision, you gotta have a vision board. You have to put up what you want, maybe put a picture of it or put it somewhere. So I wanted this Mercedes, and I put it in my a picture of it on top of my car. And every morning I would get up and I would look at it. I said, I'm gonna get that car. I'm gonna get that car. So one day I said, I saw an ad for a van in the paper. So I said, oh, I might do sleep in the van. It's better than sleep in the car. So I went there, and guess what? My Mercedes was sitting right there. And I said, I know those are expensive cars. So at that time I didn't have all that money yet. So I said, ma'am, I want that car. She said, well, sir, the transmission is done on it. It's the transmission is going out. She said, I'll give it to you for $2,000. Now this car was probably a $40,000 car. She said, I'll give you $2,000. I said, all right. I bought the car. I took the car to the mechanic. The mechanic said all they needed was transmission fluid. Whoa! Whoa! So I pretty much manifest by me saying every day that I'm gonna get this car, and it came to me.
Wow!
But see, the thing is, I am so good. Oh, wait a minute.
And the mechanic said, wait. The mechanic said all they needed was transmission fluid.
The lady had no idea. I put $20 of transmission fluid in it, and I had the car for almost 6 years.
Wow! Let me say this, because we have to put this out there. The story that you just told is so amazing. However, the internet has influenced our younger generation to manifest things, right?
Right.
But they're manifesting things through lies. They're not manifesting things through sacrifice. What you did was you set yourself up to manifest something, but you did not feel that something was going to be given to you in that manifestation. You continue to work toward the things that you wanted.
Yes.
See, this new age manifestation stuff, fake is the new real, but it's still a darn lie.
Right.
And a lot of people are out here talking about manifesting, but what they're doing is they're lying, saying that they have things that they don't have, and then when people say that they don't have them, then it makes the enemy is an accuser of the brethren.
You know what? But you know what, Dr. Angela? I think I'm just so happy that my people are even in the conversation of manifesting things, because I believe in manifestation too. So when something is new, or we're just eating this new fruit, I think sometimes they may get a lot of it wrong or be off kiltered a little bit, only because they're new. But the beautiful thing is they're in on the conversation finally. I think that once you open your mind, because my brother's opened my mind to a lot of new concepts, and my son tried a couple years ago, but I was so close to the all way of thinking I couldn't, but the seed stayed in me. So when my brother showed up with the same word, I thought, something sounds familiar. I've heard this before. So this is making sense to me. So I think because they're thinking about manifestation, it may not be clear yet, but that vision is going to clear up if they keep staying in that neighborhood. Right. It's better to have them in the neighborhood, even if they're seeing it a little bit off right now, than not to have it in the neighborhood at all and not be in on that conversation or even thinking about it. So I get what you're saying. It's important to do it right, but at least they're there.
And you know what?
That makes sense?
That makes sense. And I'm just going to say that I'm experiencing manifestation and people being in the same vibration and the law of attraction right now, because I'm on a journey to do what I want to do, which is be a full-time creative, right? And I was just speaking with my life coach today about sacrifice. So when you said sacrifice, I said, look at this. I feel like I just attracted this in my life, and we're all in the same vibration right now.
We're all in the same vibration right now.
And
because I want to go full-time creative too.
I just want to say, the energy, you can pull the energy to you. And I didn't know that for most of my life, because it was just, I had so much negative energy around me. And you got to be careful who you have around you too.
Yes, you do.
Because some people can love you, but they can be envious of you.
Absolutely.
At the same time.
I lost half of my family when I started being successful.
Wow.
Everybody got some jealous. They don't call me. When I moved to Buckhead, I can't get nobody to come see me no more.
Wow.
I can't even get nobody to come to my house.
Wow.
And I just want to say, I just have one more story I want to share about my book, Paying for His Mistakes. Is when I first put it out, I had a little money to put behind the marketing of it. And I was at a party. And at this party, it was a famous rapper there. I'm not going to say his name. But it was a famous rapper there, and I said, "Hey man, I'm an author, man. Here's my copy of my book." So I gave him a copy of my book, and thinking, he probably just gonna throw it away, nothing like that.
Right.
So 4 days later, I'm sitting at home, and I pull up my phone, and I check my bank account. I had $200,000 in my bank account.
Whoa.
I said, whoa, I'm like, what is going on? I'm calling the bank, why I have so much money in my bank account? So what happened, this rapper posted on his Instagram that is one of the best books he ever read. Half of his followers just started buying my book. And that's why I'm at 50,000 right now, because people just went crazy over the book.
Absolutely. But going back to what I was saying, and that is amazing. But going back to what I'm saying, because you have to look from both views. A lot of people right now are using the word manifestation as a form of lying. See, on social media, when you go to social media and you see a person with that's stating that they're in a relationship with this big person, and that's not true. That's not manifesting.
Oh no, that's not manifesting.
But this generation,
no, that's
this
not
is what they are doing, is they're using the manifestation, quote unquote, technique out of context to tell lies and make people to think that they're above or they're doing something more than what they're doing.
Right.
What I heard from you is that you made a sacrifice because you were obedient, and in that sacrifice you still worked hard. You worked 3 jobs. You did not sit on your butt and wait for it to come. You went and you put work in the midst of you being obedient. And it has to be put out there, because I see it all the time. I have people that's been around me that I've had to tell there is a difference between manifesting and lying.
Right.
Lying is telling people that you have something.
Manifesting and delusional.
Yeah. Right.
That delusional, and delusions bring lies. You know what I'm saying?
They do.
And so there's not half of the truth. It's either the truth or it's a lie.
Right.
And so with that being said, this generation under us right now, you have them, they want to be held, they want a silver spoon passed to them. They want to say that they're manifesting things while they're sitting on their butt not doing nothing to make sure that their blessings come. You have to work at it. It says faith without works is dead.
Right.
Absolutely.
So that's the angle that I was coming from.
Right.
Now, as we say with the rebirth of the Black nation, there are different levels to it. There will be some people that get on the bus. That's what you're talking about, Terry.
Yeah.
Those are the people that hear something, they know that something needs to be done, so they want to start and they want to be a part of it.
Right.
So that's one thing. Then it's the people that's on the train. That's the moving forces. That was you working. That was you working those 3 jobs. That was you sacrificing sleep in your car. But you seen a vision at the end of it that you knew in your heart and in your mind that was going to come to pass, because you're manifesting it by making sure that you're obedient and you're making the sacrifices.
Right.
Manifestation is not some poof, ziggity boo situation that's just going to come to you because you said it's going to come, and you put it out there on the internet that this is what's going on in your life, and it's not the truth.
I think what threw him off was when Sierra said she prayed for Russell. Okay. And she manifested Russell. I don't know, because I'm sure Sierra did a lot of other things too. Sierra is a consummate professional.
Right.
Sierra works really hard. Sierra's a great mom, was a great mom before she met Russell.
Right.
A great human being, you know. I mean, she was doing a lot of internal work and external work too. She looks good. She kept her weight down. She always so well groomed, so pretty. Right. And just seems to be, well, she has a really good spirit. So when she says she prayed for a good husband, I feel, and this is just my opinion, that Sierra had everything to offer that she was expecting.
Right.
Which I think is only fair.
She put actions behind the desire
She
and
put
the thoughts and
actions
the prayer.
behind her thoughts and prayer.
That's all I'm saying.
She put actions
You
behind
have
it.
to put actions behind.
It's the same thing with me. I like I said, when my first wife left me, I thought that was over. I said, "Oh man, what am I gonna do?" But now I have one of the best wives ever. My wife's from the Philippines.
Yay.
She treats me like a king. She treats me great.
Amen.
But none of that would have came from me not sleeping in my car.
Absolutely.
It has to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
And I tell people, if you want to get out the box, you can't go around in a circle. You got to keep going around the circle, keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. You got to get out of that box. And a lot of people have fear. You know, that's one of the biggest things. Fear, I say, is a cousin to failure. If you afraid, I've been to 12 countries. A lot of them I've been by myself.
Wow.
I couldn't get people to go. I said, man, let's go to this country. Man, what if somebody kills us over there? What if somebody... It's safer over in other countries than it is over here.
Absolutely.
But, people are so afraid to, take that step, leap. You want to talk about
Where do you think that comes from, Ben? Why do you think people are afraid?
Because we're so complacent, as far as most people, the average person just want to pay the bills, and that's it. Pay the bills and maybe get a bill and whatever, what I'm saying? That's it. But, we're so complacent, and sometimes you think, oh, this is all I got.
Right.
It's like some people get in a relationship and they say, oh, well, this is all I got. I might well go on to marry Johnny, be the best I can find. But you're only in Atlanta. It's a huge world.
Absolutely.
Right.
You don't have to stay with only somebody in Atlanta. So you got to look outside. You got to go outside of that, and you got to get out your mind and start thinking different.
Get out of your own way.
Yeah.
And I think there are so many things in our society that condition us to be fearful. Like, look at the news.
Right.
So look at the, as you call it, Dr. Harris, the pandemic. I mean, you know what I'm saying? People would not have done all of the things they did. Isolated themselves, wear these masks, they, getting into arguments and probably even breaking up relationships because you get the vaccine, I'm not getting the vaccine, you should get the vaccine, all of that. Well, that could not have happened had it not been for fear. And so that fear had to already be there before they could even put the fear of COVID in you.
Right.
Yeah. Well, they have conditioned us subconsciously, I think, in some areas to be fearful.
And the thing is that when it comes to life, period, we have to understand too that everybody that is on this earth, their whole entire life is revolved around who they're designed to be as an individual. Everything that you went through, and I'm gonna say it like this, as a pastor's child, there's some things that you had to experience outside of your mother and your father in order for you to be who you're designed to be.
Right.
You weren't designed to be your father. You weren't designed to be your mother. You were designed to be Benjamin Collins, is it junior?
Right. Third.
That's who you, or the third. That's who you were designed to be. And a lot of times what happened is we get caught up from the very beginning of life, practicing to be someone else that we're not, even if it's someone in our family.
Right.
But the end result to your manifestation was, like you said, your sacrifice. It was from your obedience that you made your sacrifice, and you put forth effort. When you are out here, and I just want to speak to this younger generation out here, when you are out here and you want to do something, yes, you can do anything that you put your mind to. But there is a cost. There's a if. There is a and there is a but. Because in order for you to walk into it, you have to be a participant in it. You cannot just talk about it. You have to be about it. And unfortunately, this generation, and even not only this generation, but when I'm saying this generation, I'm talking about this internet generation. We are losing a lot of our people's mindsets because of falseness, because of fakeness, and because of acting. There's so many people that act that they don't even know how to be real. And that is a problem with saying that we're manifesting things. Right. In manifesting, there has to be a action. There has to be something that you participate in for it to happen. It's not just going to happen. First of all, the Most High needs to know that you can be trusted in the things that is being given to you. I tell people all the time, when I was a ghostwriter and I wrote those multi-million-dollar films for other people, there was a reason why at that time I was not released the goods. I wasn't released the goods because I was not ready for the goods. The manifestation was to see the writer that I am that can generate these types of funds, right? But the realness of the whole situation is I was not ready because at that time I might have aborted my assignment, because sometimes when you're given things and you're not ready for them, you move in the opposite direction of what your mission to be. And so we have to be very careful. It's nothing wrong with manifesting. And I'm saying this because
it's just like you said about Prince. This reminds me of this, that you wouldn't put Prince you wouldn't send Prince to play with the Falcons today.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because he's not ready.
Right.
He's 4.
Right.
So he's playing Little League football.
Yes.
And even though he's an amazing football player, he's not ready for the Falcons yet.
Yes.
He may be there later, but not now.
I want to say this. We got to stop trying to depend on other people for our destiny. We depend on other people. I could have easily. My parents are okay. My dad's a bishop. They've been married 53 years.
I thought that same thing.
I could have easily say, "Oh, Dad, can I borrow some money?" But you get tired of that kind of stuff. You get tired of leaning on other people. Yep. You have to make your own path. And if you want it, you got to go get it. And everybody keeps. I decided I was tired.
Yes.
I was tired of day by day. I was tired of check by check. What can I do to change my life and get out of, this mind frame?
Right.
So I'm not telling people to do what I did, but I'm saying I got friends. Well, I had friends. I cut it off a lot of people. I had friends that make $400 a week, but every week they're in the club. They buying bottles. They throwing money in the air, and then Monday, can I borrow $20?
Wow.
But then they can't understand why am I going through this? You have to change that mind frame.
See, this generation has, and when I say this generation, I'm not even talking about age. I'm talking about this internet generation.
The mindset,
It has
the
an
culture.
entitlement spirit that has to be destroyed in order for the blessings to really come. They feel like they're entitled to everything. You have to look at Ben's story. If anybody watching this show, listen to his story and don't
But you know what,
listen
Dr. Angela, I was impressed too, because I thought the same thing, Ben. I thought, children of bishops, we know especially in Metro Atlanta, they're local celebrities too. Their fathers and your mom, first lady,
right.
And it would have been easy. And so you have lived a life where not. I don't want to say privileged, but where you were raised on a different level. So certain doors could have been open to you, but you didn't rely on that. And that's difficult because it's easy to sit back and say, you know what, Dad, let's do this. And I want to use church for this. And I want to do this. And you got these, all the people who know you. Can you hook me with this person? But you didn't.
Well, my dad raised me and my sister to be independent. So being that he was a pastor, he was a little bit tougher on us. And I used to wonder why. I said, why is he so tough on us? And when he can just help me.
Right.
But he made me what I say a hustler. He made me into a hustler because he made me get out there and do things on my own. And,
Absolutely.
And like I said, it was not given to us. And people think, hey, you're a preacher kid. You just supposed to just have it.
Have everything.
And they think we're so bad. We're not bad. I just heard that. We're not bad. It's just when you're raised in the church all your life, it's like taking a dog and locking him in a cage. When you first let him out of the cage, what he gonna do? He gonna go wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got to find yourself for who you are individually.
Right.
And so, my whole plight in this whole conversation is this. Know that manifestation, because people use that word very loosely. Manifestation does not come from you just sitting around waiting on something to drop from the sky.
I guess you saying manifestation comes with responsibility.
Manifestation comes from you putting work into what you want to see. And there's a lot of people that are out here, and I deal with them. This is why I'm speaking on this. From the younger ones to the older ones. They feel like somebody owes them something. And so they sit around with their hands held out until they crash. And then when they crash, it's hard for them to get back up because they never put in work to even realize what they need to do in order to get to the next level. Right. And so now they're so broken and dysfunctional and messed up that they put that spirit and it's like they push that spirit on those around them, and then they want to play the blame game on other people, even their parents, for the things that they did not do for themselves. Right. Life is not about handouts. Life is about understanding who you are, and your manifestation comes from working in what you've learned about who you are and who you are. So the epiphany of loving myself, when did I learn to love me? When you learn that your manifestations come from you putting in the work in your assignment. And then not only that, you have to understand that in your assignment, it's not only about you, there's other people that you are also assigned to. And it could be like for you're in the music business, you've done a lot of different things. We heard some great things about, how, the properties that you own outside of the United States and all of those things. All of those things came from you working towards something that you knew that you wanted.
Right.
even though it didn't appear to be what you seen at that time.
Right.
You know, but you seen past that. That's what true manifestation is. Seeing past what's in front of you, but working towards getting it. It's not just sitting around, not wanting to do nothing, waiting for handouts, making you know, basically pimping other people for what you want to see.
Yep.
And then too, oftentimes when you want to change, what made me think about when you said you had to get out of that box, you have to make a radical change sometimes, make a quantum leap to see a shift in your situation. You just have to make a radical, totally different change.
And I want to say this: when you have a dream or you have something you want to do, sometimes it's best not to keep it to yourself. And and because when you tell people what happened, they're gonna try to talk you out of it. You know, I didn't tell nobody what I was doing in Orlando.
Wow.
Even my family, nobody knew.
Wow.
Even I would come home sometimes to see my family. They didn't know what I was doing, what I was going through. And, you know, from a lot of them probably don't even know now. You know, so.
So you said keep it to yourself.
Yeah, keep it to yourself, because what's going to happen is people are not going to see that. They're going to say, "Oh man, why you sleeping in your car? Man, you ain't got to sleep in your car.
Come stay with me."
Yeah. And guess what? If I would have did that, my whole path would have got changed.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So don't.
That wasn't your GPS course.
No.
That wasn't your GPS.
So I have a question.
Sure.
'Cause like I said, I'm on my own journey. So for me and I know you said you want to be a full-time creative too. For me and everybody else out here who, I fall victim a little bit to what Dr. Harris is talking about. Like I want it now. Like I'm 50. I want it now. I did things in the past where I was following that quote unquote American dream. Get these degrees. That's the way to do it. And I see that. No, that's not the way to do it.
Right.
So for me and everybody else who are out here and we are along our path, how did you stay true to it? How did you keep going?
Well, I mean, I like when I write a book. I have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and I set that for my path. You know, I knew what I wanted. I know what kind of money I wanted, and I knew what I want. You know, how I wanted to change my life. So you have to step outside your box. And that's the biggest thing that people have. That's the biggest fear we have as people. You know, what if this? What if that? Or, you know, what if I quit my job? You know, and I'm not telling anybody to quit their job, but I'm saying maybe get you 1 or 2 more jobs. If you're a single person out here,
Right.
and you broke,
Why not work
shame
2 or
on
3
you.
jobs?
Shame on you. You single and you broke, shame on you. You know, I see a lot of beautiful women out here, gorgeous and broke.
Absolutely. That's
Shame on
exactly
you.
what I'm talking about right there. Because there's an entitlement spirit. And the reality is when we are re-educating and rebirthing our people, we have to rebirth them with the truth. We can't give them all of this fake and fictitious stuff and make them think that everything is going to be okay. That, first of all, that's not the creator. People try to, put life or God or whatever the name is that you use for the Most High out there as this, person that, or this being that's supposed to just do everything for you. If you read any of the good books, if you read the Bible, if you read the Quran or the Torah, it's all going to tell you, first of all, faith without works is dead. You have to put some work in. Then it's also going to tell you, like this, if this, then that. If this, then that. If this, then see, this is what we miss. All we want to do is a lot of people, it's definitely levels to it. Mm-hmm. And then you have to be in order. You know, there's a lot of people that want to be creators, but have you created the love of yourself in order for you to even know who you are and what you're supposed to be doing? A lot of people are walking into this path of self-righteousness and self-evaluation and then journey. Your journey is not about you. You have to understand that. All of that. And when you do that, you have to understand that you're going to continue to bump your head back and forth. That's why, and then all of this newfound internet, all of these religious tactics, that's what I want to call them. I'm not talking about religion, but I'm talking about religious tactics are out there confusing people, telling us that we need to do things one way, But the thing is, you have to study to show yourself approved. You can't always go off of what this person said or that person said or this person said or that person said unless you're studying and it's confirmation along your way. And then that's what comes to you. There's a lot of fake stuff out here. And unfortunately...
Oh, go ahead. I just wanted to say your sacrifice is going to open your door. And what I mean by that is once I made the sacrifice I did, it's almost like I went into another universe or something. It's like...
Yes.
I mean, before I made that sacrifice, I was struggling on every end. I'm talking about bologna sandwiches, Roman noodles. I mean, I was struggling. But it's like when I made that sacrifice, everything's open. It's like I got into another world. Like I said, money came in, the wife I wanted came in, everything came in. So it's just like...
But you had to go through something.
But I had to go through something.
In order to get there.
Yeah, so I mean...
So my question is, and I'm kind of going back to my question because I want to hear kind of something definitive. When you were at your lowest in this sacrifice in your car, and you felt like were there times that you felt like giving up?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what is it that what was your self-talk? What did you look to? What was your foundation? What was the source? Like, what was that thing?
Well, even to this day, I have a fear of being poor. I have it's like a anxiety thing I have now or ever been going back to being poor. So now my mind is always focused on being successful. Because once you taste it, once you taste success, or
you can't forget that taste.
You don't want to go back. So, I mean, it was times when I was in my car and I have a friend. I call him a friend. He was like an angel to me because it was one day I thought about giving up. And I said, man, I'm just going to get out this car. And he came through Florida, and you know what he did?
What?
He parked his car right beside me, and he slept in his car beside me.
Aww.
And he said, man, you know what? Keep doing what you're doing, and things are going to happen for you. Keep doing what you do. It was like an angel told me, don't give up. Don't give up.
Yes, that's why I know prayer stuff, because my motivation, my house will be paid for in a couple of years. But my motivation, and it was like effortless.
Right.
It's like the time came, bam, bam, now I'm done.
Right.
But it was so effortless. My motivation was I never want to live with anybody. After I got my divorce, and it was me, I wanted to provide a place for my son. And I got married. I was very young when I got married. I was a virgin, brought up in the church, and I married my husband. We had my son. But once we got divorced, I always wanted my son to have a stable home. I didn't want him not to have because he had a young mother. So I wanted that. But I never wanted to live with anyone. I wanted us to have a home for ourselves, and that was my motivation.
Okay. So for both of you, I'm hearing connection to another human being.
It was connection.
Kind of in different ways, but...
Yeah. And God was the person, God was my source on never giving up. Because 31 years to do anything, it's a really long time. And for it not to be difficult at all, through all the different economy shifts, through relationship shifts, spiritual shifts, work, business, I've been in business a long time, still it was so effortless. And I know that the Lord sent what I needed when I needed it. So sometimes I might have needed my uncle to come live for a while because he wanted to save money while he was on the road. Or sometimes whatever I needed, my source has always been God, but he always sent what I needed not to give up at that time.
So connection with yourself and knowing what you want, what you don't want, and then that connection with others as well.
What I didn't want was bigger than everything else.
And that's what also, I just want to say this right quick. That's why your vision board helps too. Because what you want, like even at my house, if you put it on a wall and every day you say, I'm going to get this, that motivates you every day to want to get that. I used to drive around and look at matches. And everybody, my friends started crazy. Why y'all always want to look at these rich people?
I used to do that too.
Look at these rich people.
I used to do that too.
Because that's my motivation. It motivates me to want to get to that level. It motivates me to want to, have those kind of things.
Absolutely.
So you have to motivate yourself.
And representation is everything.
I want to bring this to a whole different light because You know,
Let me
everybody.
say one thing right quick. He's right about that vision board because I have a vision board too. And Mercedes was on my board too.
Yeah.
And I bought my Mercedes too, but I bought mine cash.
See?
And you remember Angela? And the people who I bought my truck from, when I got home, they gave me the check back. When I got home, the check was in my paperwork, wasn't it, Angela? The cashier's check, the receipt to it, the bill of sale, and the title. I had to call the people back and say, can I please pay you for this car? I need to get you your check back.
Well,
That was on my vision board.
I definitely want to take this.
They gave
to
it by
another-
mistake.
Oh, okay.
I definitely hold on.
They weren't trying to.
Let me say this.
Trust. But it was on my vision board.
A vision board is very important, but when I think of my journey, because you know everybody's journey is different, and when you talk about a holistic view of something, you can't talk about one person's journey. You have to talk about several people's journey because there's going to be several people watching. So you know there may be someone that can attach themselves to your journey, somebody that can attach themselves to your journey, and there may be someone that can attach themselves to my journey.
Absolutely.
My journey is that I had to learn what true wealth was. Wealth is not just material things. See, I've always had material things. That's not something that I starved for my whole entire life. I've been around money my whole entire life. Whether it was mine or the people that was around me, I've been around it, right? But my wealth had to come spiritually, mentally, because if your mind ain't right, you ain't right. Intellectually, if you don't know nothing, or if you can't relate to nothing with intellect, it hinders you from really making conscious decisions.
Well, Michael Jackson taught us that, didn't he?
Then also physically. Physically is twofold. It's not only your body, but it's also your monetary. And so when we talk about building people holistically, the material things is okay. But I know some people that got some material things that's so broken and messed up and jacked up and don't even want to live life another day, ready to commit suicide, because that's not it. We have to get to a point of knowing that life is more than just what you can get. Life is more than what you can see. Life is what you are birthed for. And in that, you had to, in order for you to see, even though you're telling us the things that you've done, you had to have the mental, and your mind had to get to a place that I'm going to do this. That started right here in your mind.
Right.
It didn't start in your money.
Right.
Spiritually, you had to have faith in something, including yourself.
Right.
Intellectually, you had to learn things in order to continue in your journey. Just about 2 weeks ago, I was going through something and I was like, you know what? I've been on this path for a long time of bringing our people together in unity. Why don't the support come like it's supposed to? Why is it that I'm always sacrificing, but I don't see sacrifices coming my way? And I had to get out of me and say, regardless of what you're seeing, you know who you are, you know what your purpose is, and you have to continue to walk in that path because timing is everything. Everybody's time is not going to be the same.
No.
Everybody's release is not going to be the same. And unfortunately, when you know that you're a chosen vessel, most times you have to go through the most drastic situations before your release comes. That's why I told y'all that 49 is mine. I've went through it. I've been through it. I've cried through it. I've kicked through it. I've, wanted to say forget it.
Why do you think some people have to go through such drastic situations, though?
That's a good
Why do you
question.
think that is?
Because many are called and few are chosen. And when you look at life, life is not about you. And this is where we have to really realize. When we're born, we're not really born for ourselves. We're born for those who are assigned to us. Just like we were assigned to somebody else. Throughout life, when you know, and that comes with learning how to love you. When you learn how to love you, then you really tap into who you really are, and you tap into your positioning in who you really are, and know that sometimes the release comes not when you want it to come, but it comes when it's supposed to come. But when you've been through all of these things and then you see the glory out of your story, it's like, wow.
And one more question. What does that release feel like? And what did it look like for you?
For me, I'm going to tell you, I'm 48 and I'll be 49 in 1 week. And my release just came last week.
Wow.
My release came last week because I know now I'm ready. Before, I can honestly look at myself and say, if I would have had this money, if I would have had all of these things that's already surrounding me, it's mine, the timing just wasn't right for it to be released.
Right.
If I would have had all of these things and I aborted the assignment.
So you saying your release last week was your mind?
Absolutely. It was not
Gotcha.
only my mind, but it was my mind knowing that now is the time.
Gotcha.
Timing is everything in everybody's life. See, when Ben went through his timing, he went through coming home, a U-Haul packed up in the driveway. See, he's a man. There was things that he had to go through to make him feel at his lowest point. See, even me going through the things that I've been through, near-death experiences, the rejection, thinking I was crazy, 10 people in my mind at one time, I never felt that I was at my lowest point until about a few weeks ago.
Wow. And everybody's lowest point is different. Because I can see somebody and they'll be like, man, I can't take this. And I think I've had dealt with 10 times.
But your lowest point is really your highest point.
But your lowest point, you have to be, I had to learn to be understanding that everyone's lowest point is different.
But your lowest point is your highest point.
Yeah, you're right.
Because
that's good.
With your anointing,
I felt that.
A lot of people that are in quote unquote ministry. First of all, ministry is manifesting inward nourishment, interpreting spiritual truths, rejecting yourself. It all got nothing to do with you.
But you know what? One thing I'm encouraged by, it's never too late.
Never too late.
Let me say this. I mean, I look at it like this. If I had what I have now and I had back then, I wouldn't have kept it.
We're saying the same exact thing.
I think about like even the little money I have now. I'm not rich, but I have a little money. But the money I have now, back when I was younger,
no, you're rich.
It would have been blown. I would have blowed it.
Right.
The wife that I have now, when I was younger, I would have messed it up because I was trying to be a player.
Right.
So
absolutely.
everything came in the right time.
Timing.
We're saying the same exact thing.
Exactly.
And I thank you for
spirits are connected.
confirming what I was saying because
You're right.
timing is I gotta go back. Timing is
everything.
In that time, I would not have been a good steward over that money because I would have probably been somewhere sipping on umbrellas doing me. A good steward is actually learning how to embrace what you have, but also being able to give some of what you have.
Let me tell you, there was a time I was so money motivated, I didn't make a move. I would move an inch without some money. But now I'm so out of that mindset because I'm supposed to give. That's part of my gift. I make people feel better. I'm supposed to be a giver. I'm supposed to be a helper. I'm at my best when I'm helping, and I did not know that before.
And then go ahead.
I want to go back to what you said, Terry, when you asked, why do some people have to go through so much? And this is what Dr. Harris and what Ben is saying is that you weren't ready. And if you're saying you weren't ready, and it makes me think of something that my life coach, Sincere, had said to me about lessons. And because I was wondering the same thing, I got to go through this. How come it happened to all these people years ago? And why am I still single? And a bunch of other stuff. I'm telling all my business. But,
right.
And he said, you haven't learned the lesson yet. So that's a reason, why people may be going through certain things or things over and over again so much because you haven't learned the lesson. But it's like, okay, I need to get this lesson so I can move past it.
Right.
I just want to say this. If you keep fighting down your path, the door is going to eventually open.
Absolutely.
I mean, quick story again. At the age of 21, I started receiving white spots on my fingers. And it turned out I had vitiligo. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And I said, why am I getting this skin disease? What's going on? Why is my skin changing colors? And, you know, for years I was stressed. But now, you know, it's fine with me. I forgot about it.
Yeah.
But another story, another blessing. 3 years ago, I had an attorney approach me. He said, hey, you got vitiligo? I said, yeah. He said, well, there's a company out here that we're suing that where it burns your skin. I said, what do you mean? It's a product that you put on your face to make your hair change color, and it burns your skin. And he said, do you have white spots all over your face? He said, yeah. I said, yeah. He said, I got something for you. So we sued this company, and it took about a year, I got a 6-figure check. So I wonder why this vitiligo, and guess what? The vitiligo came back and gave me a blessing.
Gave you a blessing.
Absolutely.
So it's everything turns around. But you just got to open that door and make your sacrifice. Once that door open, you know.
That's it.
Yeah, it came back and gave me a blessing.
It was part of your journey.
It's a part of your journey. And see,
part of your journey.
That's what I mean by being chosen. A lot of times, the ones that are chosen, they have to go through things that would try to discredit their mental about who they are. But eventually, when you realize that even at vitiligo, am I pronouncing that correct?
Vitiligo, right.
Even that was a blessing for you, and it still didn't identify who you are.
Right.
You know, and I want to tell people, you know, people get tattoos all day. It's almost like having a tattoo. Actually, I have so many people that say, "Oh, yeah, that's cool."
I think the same thing. I
once spoke at a school for a young lady who was she was getting bullied, and she had vitiligo. And when I came and spoke to the school, and you know, I hyped the kids up, had so much fun with the kids. Mm-hmm. Now she was one of the coolest kids in her school.
Absolutely.
So you know, you got to take your things you think are bad and you turn them into a blessing.
Absolutely.
And like I said, to me, you know, it doesn't bother me anymore. I mean, hey, I still have a beautiful wife. You know what I'm saying? I still have a great life. You know what I'm saying? It just sometimes things get in your head.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But look at it, turned around. And I said,
blessed you.
And blessed me.
Going back to that wealth spiritually, mentally, intellectually, physically, and emotionally. Because a lot of times, you know, we become emotionally drained over things that shouldn't even matter. Mm-hmm. This is what I would say to someone. If someone said, okay, Dr. Harris, what would be your encouraging words to someone that is not comfortable with who they are? Learn to love you, learn to embrace you, learn to understand that every part of you is special. Regardless of what it is, know that we are all fearfully and wonderfully made, and we're individuals. So each one of us is going to have something different about us that's different from somebody else. Does that make that other person better because they look in the mirror and they have this look that people have portrayed as beauty? Beauty is not something that is what you look in the mirror. You got to be able to look inside of you.
That's
pull
right.
out the beauty inside of you to pull it on the outside, because there's some people that look in the mirror every day and people think, oh, they're so beautiful because they got a mole and their skin is light and all this, but then on the inside they are so jacked up and messed up.
Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
I know celebrity friends. I got celebrity friends that are beautiful, and they look in the mirror and say, I don't like the mold on my face. I don't like this. So you'll be surprised.
Same thing.
You'll be surprised how many people that we think are so beautiful still have that insecurity within itself. So, you know, it's in you, you know what I'm saying, how you feel about yourself.
You know, my mom used to say to us, and my mom was Miss Alcorn. I come from Beauty Queens, but she used to say, get over yourself. You stand there long enough, somebody's gonna walk up that's gonna be prettier than you. Somebody's gonna walk up that might not be pretty than you, but nobody can beat your insides. Mm-hmm. So say, get over that.
Nobody can beat your insides.
Over that. She said, beauty is fleeting. and it's relative. You live long enough, that's going to be gone.
Yep.
But the beauty you have inside will live forever. She used to preach that to us. Do not get caught up on how you look. And then she would say, you don't have anything to do with it anyway. That's genetic. What you take credit for is how you are inside.
And see, people say, people don't want to make sacrifices no more. And I mean, if you look at, if you're Christian, you look at Jesus. Look, he made the biggest sacrifice.
He did.
Yes.
And so why do you feel you don't have to make a sacrifice?
Right.
Jesus make a sacrifice. God let his son make a sacrifice. So why do you feel that you don't have to make a sacrifice? You just think, I'm just going to play the lottery and it's going to happen.
Right.
No, you're not. It's
Right.
not going to happen. Nothing is going to fall out the sky.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it took me to learn that too.
Yep.
I finally said, nothing's going to fall out the side. Ben, you got to do something. You got to do something, or guess what? Time don't stop.
It don't.
But I like Colonel Sanders' story because I'm a woman of a certain age, but I have, God has blessed me with a lot, but my dreams are so in the stratosphere, I'm not nearly finished yet with what I want to do. The focus might have changed, but not the size of my dreams. My only rule is I have no rules. But, Colonel Sanders started KFC. I heard you say I'm 50 now. When he was 65, he had fried chicken in a truck stop his whole life, like in a gas station, and retired and was bored and wanted fried chicken for his friends. He put in a box because he didn't have bags. So he just started KFC till after 65 years old. Who does not know about KFC?
I had a young lady I was talking to the other day, and she wanted to be an actress. She said, I'm too old to be an actress. Samuel L. Jackson was 45 years old when he first got his big break.
45.
He's the biggest selling actor of all time.
All time.
Absolutely.
So it's not too late. I'm getting ready to put out a project right now, which is the hip-hop project.
Yeah, that's what
If you don't mind me talking about it.
I want you to talk about it.
Okay. It's a hip-hop project, and the name of the song is called Freaky Jason. It's pretty much going to be the Michael Jackson Thriller of rap. It's going to be give you the same concept as Thriller. Michael Jackson turned to a monster. I'm going to turn it to Jason.
Wow.
So we're working on that. We actually shoot the video on the 21st.
Whoa.
And on your birthday.
On my birthday.
And people told me, hey, you're too old to be rapping. I'm not too old to do nothing. Nobody can do nothing.
Wait a minute. Let me tell you, y'all, don't he look like, now y'all look at him. What is that movie called with Gabrielle Union and she went on a date and
with LL Cool J, that
and he was like, and she was like, how old are you?
Deliver me from evil.
No, he was like 40, shorty, and he was like, give me some scrimp. And she was like, what? Check, time to go. What was that movie?
Deliver me from evil, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. It was it was something with Gabrielle Union and the one guy that got the Idris Elbas, whatever. Oh my God, I'm gonna think of that. Man, that was my movie. I bet you any of my children can tell me. Y'all call in if y'all know what movie I'm talking about. 470-759-4585. 470-759-4589. If y'all know what 470-759-4585. If y'all know what movie this is, y'all don't know what I'm talking about.
Is that when Idris Elbas, he had 3 kids in the movie?
Yes,
Daddy's Girls.
Daddy's little girl.
Daddy's Girls.
I gotta watch that again.
Remember she was going on dates with people.
Yeah.
She came. You look just like him. Really? When you walked in, I was like, oh, there he goes.
I gotta watch the movie again now. You're gonna make me watch the movie again now.
Yeah.
Daddy's little girl. That's what it was.
Well, that's gonna be a good project. When are you gonna release that?
We're gonna release that next month. Right now we're just working on everything, all the details for it, and it's something like, again, outside of the box.
Right? Why not?
People think you got to be inside the box. You got to rap about drugs. You got to rap about girls shaking them behind, whatever. You got to, no, you can be different. Actually, difference is what made the key. What made Michael Jackson who he was.
He was different.
He was different.
Absolutely.
What made Prince who he was different.
He was different.
So, and they became the biggest stars in the world. So,
right.
Even Bismarcky, oh baby,
I love Bismarcky.
The different how he looked, and then all of these different rappers, if you really looked at them, why you gotta shoot? You know what I'm talking about? You know, Bushwick Bill. You know, all of these people, they look different, and you know, they had something different. Their voices was different. Their message.
Busta, Biggie, Tupac, Missy, Timbaland.
So I tell people, don't let nobody tell you you're too old to do something.
This project sounds like it's gonna be so fun.
I tell all you youngsters at the table, you know, rap is turning 50 next year.
Right.
So that's to be celebrated.
Raw African power, y'all. It's turning 50 next year.
Yeah. So that's saying something.
So guess what? I'm turning 52. Rap was created when I came out. Y'all know I used to be a rapper, right? I used to be there.
Where were y'all?
I used to write everybody's rap. I used to write people's rap. Like literally. Yeah, that's what I used to do. Wow. And I used to write some stuff, y'all. Yeah, I used to.
So where were you when you first heard your first rap song? I was introduced to rap. Can you remember where you were? Or was it always around?
I think I heard it come out the womb.
My parents are, my dad's a minister, so I was brought up underneath the church. So I can't really remember because I was never allowed to listen to secular music.
My first CD I bought was LL Cool J. I'm bad.
That's good.
Like she said, I grew up in the church, so I used to be under my pillow.
Yeah, listen to it.
And I'm looking like, oh, mom, don't hit me that.
And that manifested in your mind. I'm bad.
Yeah,
I grew up in the church too, so I didn't hear any rap, but my god brother came down to our house and he was like, come outside, I'm gonna do something I made up. We were like, okay. And he did Rapper's Delight. And we said, you made that up? He said, yes, that's my own original thing. I made it up. And we were just so blown away. And then we heard it on the radio. So he did not make it up.
And so the thing is, for me, I always been a person that loved music. And so I grew up in the church too. I mean, Monday,
did y'all listen to rap at home?
Friday. But I always had my own mind, and I always wanted to hear different genres of music.
Right.
Like all of my children, very musically inclined.
They're artists.
And then we got into my children's father, who owned a record label. And so, and I was young, and so it was like, I always sang. I started rapping before I knew that rap was rap, because I always, as a writer and then a poetic writer, it's almost everything is the same. Rap and poetry and all that stuff, it always ends up being the same. So, it was when I was young, I think from the time I was born, like when I knew that music was music. Now we started out with some songs because my uncle, he used to cry all the time. Uncle Bruce, shouts out to you. Yeah, I'm telling you a story. But he used to cry all the time because, my grandfather shot and killed my grandmother in front of my mom at 16, and my uncle was 10, and those were the two children that were there.
Oh, man.
So he used to always cry and listen to stuff like Reunited and It Feels So Good.
Yeah.
And then And You Are My Starship. He used to listen to all of that. So I got the old school from listening to the stuff that he was listening to.
Right.
But then the new school was the stuff that was coming out. So, you had the transition of music the years that I was born. In 1973.
I used to rap in my dad's church, gospel raps.
That's good.
I actually put out 2 CDs, on my own.
So you probably know Edward Long, because he used to do gospel rap too.
Edward Long?
They call him Dirty Bishop, Young Bishop, Dirty Bishop.
No, I was a kid when I did gospel rap.
Okay.
And then when I got older, I did 2 CDs on my own, and I sell it out the trunk of my car. But like I said, that it goes back to sometimes you have to keep people out your head and people telling you what you can't do.
Yep.
Because so many times I've gave up on things that could have been a blessing to me, but I was listening to other people. Don't do this. Go to college, work, get you a job, work 20 years and retire.
Absolutely.
Right.
Now that's what they tell you.
They sure do.
And then you end up that miserable person,
Going to the reunion.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, y'all, this show has been very, very amazing. It is now
so much
already
fun.
2:20. It's been fun.
Already, Dr.
Yes,
Angela?
it's already. So what we're going to do is we are going to go around to each and every one of us, starting with Terry, ending with me, and just give, a quick 1 minute word of advice, or if you want to give your affirmations or whatever it is that you want to give. And when we come to you, King, I just want you to give some really encouraging words, not only to the young men, but I want you to elaborate to the young men, because there's a lot of young men out here that don't understand that you can do anything that you put your mind to. Okay. And I just believe, as an influencer from a male perspective, that it's always good to come back and give a male that has actually done exactly what a lot of our youth are striving to do, right, and don't know how. Right. So, Terry, what are your final words for today?
Well, Dr. Angela, first let me say I'm so happy to be here. So much fun. And man, I meet the most amazing people on our show. But the one thing I would say, my affirmation, and what I always remember, I was fortunate to know my great-grandparents, my grandparents, and I always remember that I'm their dream. I'm the manifestation of my ancestors' dreams. And everything they did, they were doing it, trying to realize, or just hoping and dreaming that they would have children who could walk like I walk, with the freedom I walk in and the confidence I walk in. So I always remember that, and it makes me so proud. It gives me accountability to my ancestors that I move a certain way in this world, because I think about the sacrifice and everything they went through so I could be here. So I want to encourage you and challenge you, everyone out there, to remember that you are the realization of your ancestors' wildest dreams. It's you. Wow. And walk in that, and hold your head up proud, and know that that they loved you so much. Even your ancestors who would never get to meet you still did all this so you could be here today. Just know I love you, and walk in your power, kings and queens.
Wow, that was amazing. That was amazing. And now, next, our poet. Can you give us another poem, please?
Oh,
and then speak.
Okay, and thank you again for letting me come and share my poetry with you. This one is called Celebration. I'd like to be pictured as beautiful. Me, in all my blackness. From the thickness of these lips to this deep, dark chocolate skin that defies slavery, I'd like to be pictured as beautiful. I'd like to be pictured as beautiful, with what is now salt and pepper, thick, full, tangled, knotted. I dare not say nappy, because nappy is a state of mind. Nappy does not exist. When this was all there was, what other celebration could there be? So this poem is a celebration of me. I'd like to be pictured as beautiful. No touch-ups, thinned out nose, apologies for sensitivities when this hair and this face cannot, will not, is not pictured as enough in my own people's stuff. This body contoured or oddly shaped. I think about Dr. Sebi when he said, we walked around naked and were never raped. I'd like to be pictured as beautiful. Go back to the beginning of time when no one hid from sun or told yo mama so black jokes. When no one thought this was less than or that is better. Before forced intermingling and house slave were bragging rights. When I can raise my head and I let the sun bathe me blacker, because that's what he meant when he made me. Yes, this hair, these dark brown eyes so black, face that wastes no time telling. I am from the original land of the original maker, made in her original image, originally loved and originally allowed to be me, gracefully. This needs no straightening comb, no makeup lightening, no bleaching cream, nothing to make this thinner, this smaller, this taller. In his image I am made. So this poem is a celebration of me. I would not like to be pictured as beautiful. I already am.
That's good.
Thank you. So my
Period. Period.
So my encouraging words is that this episode was really for me. And so I'm hearing that in order to achieve what it is I want, like you all have, it is to love myself. I really got that from Dr. Harris. Be mentally where you need to be, and stay true to my thoughts. Right, the vision board, and also the action, and to put all of that together, and the sacrifice. And so that's my encouraging word. Anybody that's at the place where I am, or trying to get to a place where maybe you're not even at the place where you feel like you can do it, what I'm saying I'm going to do, hopefully you can take it and say, well, hey, I can do the same thing too. If I can do it at 50, then anybody else can do it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You just get
And that
started.
poem was so powerful, and you are beautiful, and that again is on period. That's what the kids say. So you got to relate back to what that means. That means that there's no explanation behind it. Just know that what I said is what it is. And now we have our king, Mr. Ben Collins, coming to close us out with his thoughts.
I just want to say, I'm talking to the brothers right now. Where do you see yourself? What do you want? You have to, as an author, you have to know a story. It's beginning, it's a middle, and an end. So you have to set yourself a path. If you don't set yourself a path, you don't have a way to go. You don't have a path to go. You have to set that way. So what do you really want? What do you want in your life? What kind of car you want to drive? What money you want to have? What lady you want to have? You need to know that kind of things and sit down and write it down. Before I got married, my second time, I wrote down the wife I wanted, and I wasn't setting nothing else. You have to know what you want. Okay. Second of all, nothing is going to be given to you. Everybody wants everything to be given to them. Nothing's going to be given to you. You have to make a sacrifice. You have to get out there and make a sacrifice. I'm not going to tell anybody to do what I did, but if you don't make some kind of sacrifice, you're just going to keep going around in circles. You're going to keep working that job. You're going to keep stressing. You have to pull yourself out of that debt that you're in. So if you got to get a second job, get a second job. If you got to get a third job, get a third job. It's not going to kill you. It's just going to make you tired.
If you're going to get a job, get a job.
Yeah. And I hear people say,
you did that.
I'm a rapper or whatever, so I'm just going to focus only on my music. No, you got to work. You got to work. You got to pay your bills. You can't live with mama forever. You got to pay your bills and do what you got to do. Be a man, grow up. And if you continue to walk in the same path, you're going to get the same results. Change your friends. If you got friends that are negative, I have what I call, right now, I only look what I call yacht friends.
That's right.
I want friends that got yachts. I want friends that got houses. I want friends that invite me to a party and everybody there is successful.
Right.
And guess what? If you do that, you're not going to have that negative energy.
No.
So look for those friends. Look for people. Sometimes friends are like leaves on a tree. They fall off.
Yeah.
People you think are your friends, they will eventually just fall off. You're like, man, I've been knowing this guy for forever, and now he's falling off. guess what? You might have 2 good friends your whole life.
Your whole life.
Yeah.
You lucky if you have 2.
Two good friends your whole life.
So find good friends, work hard, make your sacrifice, and everything will work out for you. And I just want to say, my website is Twisted Minds Multimedia. That's I spell with Z. That's TWIZTED. Minds is spelled with Z2, MINDZ, Multimedia. And anybody wants to reach me, I do motivational speaking. I'm a performer. I do hosting. You can reach me at 912-255-3100. That's 912-255-3100. Thank you.
And there you have it, Mr. Ben Collins, our king for the day. Thank you so much for bringing in your input. Thank you so much for the poetry. Shonda is just so amazing. I just love it because you're so animated but real at the same time.
It's beautiful.
It's just really amazing. And thank you again to my co-host, Miss Terri Harp, girl. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I love you too.
And in closing, I would like to say to the world, remember, the rebirth of the Black nation is an accountability, responsibility, and action movement for Black people, beautiful living ancestors controlling kingdoms of all nationalities and religions and ways of life to come together, not with the things that keep us separated, which is our nationalities, our religions, and our ways of life, but learning to love you, tap into you, learn how to put the things of your past behind you so that you can move forward. And in the midst of it, when you learn to love you, that rebirths our Black families, that changes our communities automatically, that gives us the ability to set up our own businesses in our communities, and that's what promotes our financial freedom. But remember that wealth is not money in our eyes only. It's wealth spiritually, mentally, intellectually, emotionally, and physically on twofold. That is your body, your mind, and your soul, and then your money. As long as you line up, your gifts will definitely make room for themselves. In closing, I would like to say this. There's so many things that we have out here that are possibilities, but it's only a possibility when we make it possible, individually and collaboratively. Get you right so that we can work together to make this world right. I love you all, and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, you know what? No, I used to say that, but now I understand. I love you, and there is something you can do about it. You can first learn to love you. Take care, enjoy your weekend, be safe out there, and know that a change is coming.
My people, like, I just want to help them. They going through so much, and it hurts to see them suffer. It hurts, but all I can do is pray. On my knees I pray, heartache weeping, 'cause I know my people plight is on the very deep end. From disease, drugs, or the homeless needing. From prostitution to the jail cells overpacked with Black men. To the younger generation disrespecting their elders. To us being too much of consumers and not developers. To us being puppet slaves in white America. No more loving our heritage, we lost our African character. To the debt we pay to our bill collectors, no sense of community. We fight, dislike, and kill each other. The Black man and woman are divided like we hate each other. No more educating ourselves, we just stop at the college professors. I hate to say it, but we lost our sight in who we are. We let the devil taint our subconscious mind with all of this poison. Now we floating down the river, lost in this hopeless void. If nobody else won't speak and tell the truth, then I'm gon' make some noise. I pray for they saving, Father, the devil's a lie, so bastard taste my sword.